Uno. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RGVSports.com podcast. I am your host, Jon LaFollette. I cover high school sports for the Monitor in McAllen, Texas, and for RGV Sports for the world at large. And if you're listening to this, you already know what it is. This is the RGV Week 3 recap podcast. It is the two-point conversion to the touchdown action that took place this week. A bit of a sloppy touchdown action. We'll get to that here in a minute. I am joined, as always, for this show to my right. Puts the Mac in Mac High, although this week probably McAllen Memorial.
Absolutely.
Greg Luca. And in the back on Periscope duty, as he is wont to do. What do you do? Oh, you put the share in Sherryland Pioneer. That's what you do, right?
Yeah, snake pit defense.
Or the L, the Ella and Bella.
Yeah.
It's whatever you want to be. And I put the Pro in Progresso. Or there was another one. Someone gave me
the couch and the couch.
No, that's Dennis. Dennis puts the couch and egg couch.
That just makes him seem lazy.
That's why it's hilarious.
Anyways, since we've all had our time on the mic to introduce ourselves, let's start recapping things here. Do you have a question at the top of the show, Mario?
Yeah, we got someone from Mission, and then someone else asked why IU for your jacket.
Why IU for my jacket? Well, I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I have a degree from Indiana University. I'm a Hoosier by birth and by education, I suppose. So,
by choice.
But not by choice. Not by choice. Anyways, enough of my Hoosier pride. It's college football season, so nothing good kind of comes out of the state of Indiana for college football.
Relevant.
No, we got Notre Dame, but who cares? Who cares?
Right, well, they're good.
They're okay, but like there not a title contender. It doesn't matter.
The quarterback broke his ankle today.
Oh, did he? Yeah, they're definitely not a title contender then.
End of season.
Anyways, so what are we? Shout out to Los Fresnos Falcon Volleyball.
Oh,
sure.
Stick around for the way.
Stick around. So, enough with the Periscope comments for now. If you have any questions, please keep commenting. Mario's going to take.
I'm writing all this
He's
down.
going to collect some questions, and at the halfway point, we'll probably talk about some things. But Greg, you had a very busy week this week, covering both. Not both, but two of the three McAllen schools this week. Roe did not play because of the weather. A couple games this week were not played at all because of the weather. But yeah, we got to talk about Mac High. We got to talk about McAllen Memorial. Let's first start with Mac High, who played Harlingen. That was our game of the week. That was a big contest. In the office, we were split about 60-40 Harlingen Mac High. I took Harlingen. Mario, who did you have in that game? Harlingen. You were high on Mac High. You thought Mac High was going to have a chance. It didn't quite happen. The final score here, Harlingen gets the win 46-21. What went wrong for the Bulldogs on that night?
Yeah, I guess I found out that I was regretting that pick almost immediately after I made it, and then once the game came around, I guess it was. Certainly Harlingen looked like the better team. It wasn't like this was a fluke or anything. I think they were clearly the better team. When McAllen High scored, it was on big plays. Josh McGowan had an 80-yard receiving touchdown, a 75-yard rushing touchdown, and that was essentially their offense for the night. I mean, they did get 21 total, but their yardage was not even close to what Harlingen put up. And Harlingen just kind of ripped them apart with this spread attack. Their quarterback, I'm going to forget his name, Jesse Castro. He was able to either work like screen passes side to side where they would have favorable matchups and good numbers, and the defenders just weren't where they were supposed to be, and they just weren't able to match up and converge to the ball as quickly as they would have wanted to. And that's why Harlingen was able to have a lot of success moving the ball that way, and on the ground they ended up rushing for 178 yards and passing for 279. And
which is what you want.
Right, for 457 total there. And they just, again, like I said, they just kind of had their way, and they dropped a couple passes that would have been touchdowns and a lot of things that could have made it even worse for McAllen High. So I think Harlingen looks really, really good. I don't want to, say that Mac High's in trouble just yet, although, man, their defense was not what I expected, and with a lot of turnover, you kind of want them to make some kind of an impression. Mm-hmm. But again, they faced two really good teams in Harlingen High and Permian, and one not so good team in Edinburgh High. And when we thought this was going to be the game where they faced somebody on their level. It's not, but that doesn't mean we necessarily know where their level is. Maybe it's one notch below this, or maybe it's 4 or 5 notches below this. But we have to find kind of where they fit within the district picture as it goes along.
Right, and with Harlingen, this was only their second game of the season. Week 1 was a bye for them. They played San Antonio Reagan. They lost 42-21, but they were up 21-7 in the second quarter in that game. We were all very impressed despite the loss, and I feel like this game kind of solidifies that because, I mean, the reputation, it's kind of a reputation pick, and also you're always kind of shaky when you vote on a team that loses. but you still keep them in the top 10 when they're 0-1.
Right.
But I feel like this kind of game here, this really kind of solidified what we thought of Harlingen anyways. I mean, how about you?
Oh yeah, I think they're definitely. I mean, you think about the top teams. I think about McAllen Memorial, and I think about Edinburgh-Vella, and I think about Harlingen now. I think those are the three that I have at the top of the Valley hierarchy.
You had a chance to see Harlingen obviously because you're at the game. What stood out to you? Like just some of the things that just Mac High just really couldn't keep up with.
I just felt like on offense and defense, Harlingen had so much speed and so many kind of athletic players that I'm not used to seeing from a Valley team. It was kind of like that sense that you get when a Valley team goes up against a non-Valley team.
Right.
I mean, McAllen High wasn't that overmatched to like when they play against San Antonio schools and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it was a scenario where Harlingen High just seemed like across the board to have the faster players and to be able to, as a result of that, get to the ball on defense and keep the ball away from McAllen High's defense when they had it on offense.
We know that Mac High's had a pretty tough. Well, 2 out of the 3 games have been against tough opponents. They played Edinburgh High, won that 28-0. But coming into this week, they were number 9 in our top 10. Now they're 1-2. I mean, for you, when you look at your top 10, I mean, are they going to be on the outside looking in? I mean, even though you kind of give them a pass because they're tough competition.
It's tough. I think I have to evaluate where we're at with the top 10 because some teams didn't play. A team like Palmview lost. See, because when I was looking at it earlier and when we talked about this last week, I was comparing Mac High to Palmview and saying I still have to feel like they're ahead of Palmview.
Yeah.
But I mean, when Palmview loses to Rio Grande City, now they could still be ahead of Palmview, and that could still be outside the top 10.
Right.
So, yeah, there's a good chance that they drop out because right now, until they really prove, now I think there's a good chance that they prove themselves in the next couple of weeks.
Right. We're not trying to say that the Bulldogs season is over by any means. Like they're a playoff team in that district. Who knows?
Easily.
Yeah, easily, and everyone's going to be there when they play McAllen Memorial because everyone wants to see McAllen versus Spades. I mean, that's the matchup for that district for the whole season, right? So we're not by and large we're not writing them off. Just are they a top 10 team right now?
Yeah, right now I don't feel like they've earned that spot.
Yeah,
I think it's safe to say that we would have to knock them out. What are you planning on doing with them? Have you given it much thought?
I haven't given much thought yet. As I said last week, I really give a lot of thought in my top 5. And then everybody else, I just kind of pick and choose. I don't think I'll put them in. I might put Roma in there because they're 3-0. And again, like I said, Mac High, they played tough teams, and we're not writing them off. For week 4, I don't know if they're a top 10 team. Maybe week 5, week 6, week 7, they'll get back there. But right now, I just don't know. I just don't know if they are. Even if they lost to Harlingen, I would still put them in there if it wasn't 46-21. If it was closer, if it came down to a field goal or one possession, if it wasn't so one-sided, then I would have to have a debate with myself.
Right.
But right now,
Harlingen was up, essentially the entire way. McAllen High led 7-6, and then after that was all Harlingen essentially.
Moving on then, Friday. This game was supposed to be Friday, McAllen High versus San Benito, but given the turbulent McAllen Memorial versus San Benito, given the turbulent weather, plenty of games were canceled and postponed on Friday. It was supposed to be Friday at 7, got moved to Saturday at 6, nonetheless you were there. From what I hear, Trevor Spates did his Trevor Spates thing.
Yeah, well, he might have had the best Trevor Spates game of his Trevor Spates career to this point. He had 373 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Can we just refer to everything Trevor Spates does as a Trevor Spates thing? Kind of like how Bob Dole always referred to himself in the third person. Like Bob Dole always wants to talk about Bob Dole. Like Trevor Spates does Trevor Spates things. Trevor Spates gets Trevor Spates touchdowns.
He did refer to himself in the third person one time. Was that to you, Mario? Where Trevor Spates gave you a third person answer?
I only talked with him once, so I don't think so.
No, it was a clip we saw online somewhere. He wanted to show he wanted to show some people what Trevor Spates is. So maybe he's earned that.
Hey, maybe. But before we get into stats, real quick, what was the score for this game?
This was McAllen Memorial 63, San Benito 44. And so again, San Benito, J.R. Gaitan, their quarterback, had 250 yards or something like that. They moved the ball really well. I was impressed with their offense, as I was last year and kind of as I expected to be. I thought their defense would be able to put up a little bit more of a fight, that being San Benito. I thought they would be able to keep Spates a little bit under control, but man, as a team, they ran for 586 yards, and it was just like it wasn't necessarily that they were just lining up and pushing San Benito back, although that was part of it. Mm-hmm. A lot of the times what they did well was they sort of had San Benito flowing side to side, and more, having cutback lanes or sort of seeing where the holes are developing and then working their way as a result of that, and sort of playing against what San Benito was trying to do. If you know what I mean.
Right. So it wasn't just like when you think of like what Weslaco East did last year. It was just they're pushing guys out of the way. And then, with here, it seems like there's more like methodology, I should say.
Right. It's like, it's funny that you mentioned West Lake East. Last year, sometimes we would debate Lupe Marone, West Lake East versus Trevor Spates. And tonight, Trevor Spates, I think, did a lot of the things that make him a cut above, which was kind of identifying when those cutback lines are there, knowing when, okay, this is a time where I have to try to power through a guy for 5 more yards, versus when this is a time I should dance behind the line of scrimmage and look for a better opening. And just being really smart about that sort of stuff is, I think, one of the things, aside from, in most cases, being faster and a better athlete, that sets him a cut.
So Trevor Spates has good Trevor Spates vision.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
I like this. We need to keep
good Trevor Spates decision making to know which holes to hit at which times. But again, San Benito's offense, like I said, they were right there for most of the game, and they had a 10-point lead at one point. But McAllen Memorial got an interception when San Benito tried sort of this halfback pass deal. That didn't really work out, and then a couple drives later, San Benito fumbled an exchange, and McAllen Memorial recovered it. And then the next drive after that, they punted, which was like their second punt of the game, and this was in the third quarter.
So they give up more than 40 points, but it comes down to defense to get the win.
You have to get a stop at some point.
Yeah, did you ask Coach Littleton about that?
Well, it was just, he said that the team played well in all 3 phases, and we didn't talk too much about the defense. He just really said, what he said to me that I thought was funny was, if you watch their film, this is what they do to everybody, right? San Benito just can move the ball like that. But I talked to McAllen Memorial linebacker Sam Hinojosa, and he was saying that they just really didn't have the right gap assignments, and they just weren't as sharp as they needed to be on that. Because what the majority of those 250 yards for Gaitan was read options, and kind of so often he would kind of go for the back, and then he would pull it out and keep it, and just go right up the middle through whatever hole ended up being open there. And that's where he had a lot of success, scored a couple of long touchdowns that way. He had 4 on the night. But again, their running back Edward Alvarez had 16 carries for 166 yards, and he found the end zone twice too. So again, a lot of success running the ball for them. But McAllen Memorial, I mean, they score 9 out of 11 possessions or whatever it is in the game. So they just needed to get 2 or 3 stops, and they were fine, and that's what they did.
What was the final line on Spates one more time?
That was 373 yards. I adjusted it for when McAllen Memorial tweeted their official stats and 5 touchdowns. And he ran the ball 34 times, which was one of the things that I asked Littleton about. Like, do you consider not having Trevor Spates run the ball 34 times in a non-district game? And he said, he's our horse, and we got to, give it to him and try to win the game. So that was something that I wasn't sure that, because, he had like 20 carries in the first half. And I was like, are they really going to give him 40 carries for the game? Like, at what point do they kind of, and it wasn't that they went away from him in the second half, that he didn't have 20 carries again. It was just sort of the flow of the game for whatever. Then maybe they scored a couple of longer touchdowns instead of more sustained drives, or maybe they just didn't run as many plays. But he was still getting the huge bulk of the carries.
I want to figure out his yard per carry. What was his?
373 over 34.
373 over 34. Well, kids, that's going to get you 11 yards a carry.
But the thing is, Gaitan ran 22 times for 257.
So 257 divided by 22. 11.7.
So he was even more efficient.
Yeah.
So again,
but again, it all came down to defense, and in a game where more than 100 points were scored, it came down to defensive stops.
You have to make a stop or two. Yeah. If they're just going to trade touchdowns all day until somebody actually stops somebody.
Real quick, since we're talking about high-scoring games, this high school game in Pennsylvania on Friday made news on the internet. I should say. Deadspin wrote about this. You see this? There's a school in Pennsylvania. They scored 90 points, ran for 700 yards, and they still lost. Yeah, the final score was like 107-90.
That's awesome.
Real quick, we've talked about Mackay, McAllen Memorial. You covered 36A. What else? Just give us a brief rundown of what else happened in your district. I know McAllen was supposed to play PSA Memorial on Friday. That got canceled. They didn't replay it today. That got canceled. What else happened there?
Mission High got a win. That's good for them.
Who did they play?
They beat Donna North 18-10.
There you go.
They were pretty happy with their defense. They forced 2 safeties in this game.
Okay.
And they moved the ball a decent amount on offense. So good for them. They're on the board. And then Horace Lincoln got blown out against Mission Vets. But the real game of interest from this district that we still haven't talked about would be Palmview against Rio Grande.
Palmview versus Rio Grande City, and that is Mario Aguirre clapping in the background. So I think it's time we give the mic over to Mario, because you were at this game. You covered 31-5A, which of course Rio Grande City is in. This was my lock of the week. I picked Palmview to win this game because
you upset Rio Grande City Twitter.
I didn't upset them, but I may have given them some extra motivation. I won't consider myself that highly, but I'm just saying.
I'm going to give myself some credit too.
We were very high on Joel Pena, their Palm View's running back. He had run, coming into this game, he ran for almost 500 yards and had 8 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Rio Grande City hadn't even scored 30 points in 2 games. They seemed to struggle to score, and I thought Pena's going to run all over him. This is going to be a blowout. It's going to be 40-something to 13-something.
I think Pena still played well. But
yeah. So we'll find out. Mario, tell us what happened in this game.
So Pena had 200 yards on 20 carries. So
okay, 10 yards per carry.
That's what you're looking for.
Yeah. And he scored 3 touchdowns, including the run after for 2 points.
So Pena still played well. This game went to overtime. Final score, Rio Grande City 35-34 over Palmview. So what did Rio Grande City do? Because they came into this game, they scored 26 points through 2 games, and now they have this 35-point outburst. What did you see from them tonight?
So a lot hinges on their defense. They entered the season not knowing too much about their offense with a lot of newcomers. I mean, their standout is Casimiro Olivares, who had 3 touchdowns today and 196 yards on 22 carries. So good game for him, but I think they were leading through 3 quarters, and then in the 4th quarter, they gave up the lead, and it just seemed like momentum shifted to Palmview's side, and there were a lot of instances, I think, where it just looked like Rio Grande City had no shot in it because plays that they made that would have put them on top or at least tied the game were called back. So they just had a lot of tough breaks where a touchdown was called back or a fumble that they recovered just didn't count. So there were just a number of things that seemed like it would be like a back-breaking situations for them or just something that would discourage them. But they pulled through. They had a big block at the end of regulation that blocked the extra point attempt, which preserved the 28 tie.
Or was it a field goal?
No, it was a field goal.
Yeah, they blocked a field goal.
It was a 37-yard field goal. They moved like 55 yards in 7 plays within a minute. And then it set up a 37-yard field goal attempt, and Victor Martinez, an outside linebacker, blocked it. And they just had like a lot of good plays like that. So it seemed as if Rio Grande City had to try twice as hard to win this game because the first ones, like the first plays that they made, were just called back and didn't count.
Yeah.
So it seemed like I was convinced of this one just because they really had to work twice as hard to get things to stick in this game. And I mean, after the game, Coach Longoria said this was a big win. The coaching staff was saying that these are the kind of wins that they need just to kind of boost the spirit of the team because last year they won only 2 games because they had injuries across the boards. Like they had like 5 players hurt, I think, within the first 2 games. The coach's son went down too, just injuries all over. And so that benefits Rio Grande City this year because a lot of those players who filled in last year are back now, and so they have that year of experience that they otherwise wouldn't have gotten had it not been for those injuries.
You mentioned that Rio Grande City got out to a pretty good lead there in the first part, and then Palmview made their comeback. What was the reason why that game switched? What was Palmview starting to do that they couldn't do in the first half? Was it just running the ball? I mean, because based on Pena's numbers, it sounds like he got his numbers throughout the night. So I mean, what were just some of the things that you saw that Palmview was able to do to get back in that situation, make this game close?
It was 14-0, and then it was 21-6 when Pena got going. And then I think the 3rd quarter kind of did it. Rio Grande City had like a fumble, I think, and they had like another touchdown that was called back. And they chewed up a large chunk of the clock and didn't really do anything with it. And then that's when Palmview kind of came back at the end of the 3rd when they recovered a fumble, took it. And at that point, I think it might have been 21-12. And Palmview missed a run after the point after, and they had one of their kicks blocked. So it seemed like Rio Grande City was still hanging in there, even though they gave up those touchdowns. But Pena just had a big night and just kept them in the game. I think if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have had a shot to come back as they did. And just in talking with Coach Requenes after the game, he said that the biggest thing was that they were able to come back after such a deficit, and they're going to take that into next week just to not hang their heads on this loss because it seemed like they felt it was right there for the taking, but they just gave it up after the kick.
Let me ask you this. How many yards did Palmview give up? What did Rio Grande City have? Just ballpark, rushing and passing. I don't need any
Well, I actually wrote this down. I think Palmview was close to Palmview was like at close to 390-something, and Palmview passed for 179.
Palmview passed for 179?
Yeah.
That's weird. Okay, well, I'll ask about that later. But what
Yeah,
did they give up?
the receiver, number 80, had 7 catches for 101 yards. Number 88 had 4 for 42. And Rio Grande City had, I think it was 300, low 300s offensive yards. And then they passed for 102.
Okay,
Well,
so the reason I ask is because I'm really concerned with Palmview now. Because I wasn't sure about the defense, and we saw, even though they beat PSJ Southwest convincingly, they gave up 400 yards of total offense and 397 on the ground. And they're going to give up 300 to Rio Grande City. That's not, the defense was a big factor last year in why they were so good.
Yeah.
And if they're going to give up this kind of yardage to these teams, that doesn't, you're not beating McCallum. There's a 0% chance.
Right, I agree.
If you're gonna do
and
that.
you know,
And even, sorry to interrupt you,
No, you're fine.
even Roma next week. How do they keep Roma under 500 rushing yards? Do you know what I mean?
I
I'm
think
concerned.
Ramon Espinosa is going to go for 600 on his own. So.
Right.
Well, and also, I mean, you mentioned Palmview had the would-be field goal to win the game is blocked, and then so it's 28-28 going into overtime. Rio Grande City scores first, 35-28. Palmview answers, it's 34-35, but they don't go for the field goal.
No.
Is it because of the block that they go for 2, or is this just the coach just having confidence in his team? Or, I mean, did you ask about that?
I didn't ask him specifically for that. The coach took the blame for the loss, which kind of makes me think that he thinks it was a tactical error on his part whenever coaches just offer that. My guess would be that, I mean, I don't think they wanted to match Rio Grande City because they couldn't stop them tonight. I mean, Rio Grande City's strength isn't on offense, and for them to go for 300 yards. And Olivares had the kind of game that he had. I think they didn't want to risk it just going any further. I think they were just putting everything on that one play. And they came within a yard. They had their offensive lineman just rush down the middle, but they stuffed them a yard shy of the end zone. So, I mean, they were there. I mean, it could have gone either way. I don't think we should read too much into this, but I think more than anything, it's just a big win for Rio Grande City.
That's a big win.
I disagree. I think we should read a lot into this. Why? So
maybe for Palmview.
Palmview's offensive line couldn't push these guys around.
No.
What?
Casimiro Olivares is pretty quick.
But I'm talking Palmview's offensive line should have just been able to plow these guys down the field whenever they wanted.
And that's the thing too. They were saying, Coach Longoria was saying that Valley View is much more physical than they are, and you can notice it too a little bit in the size in the photos that I was seeing. But they just played more hard. But I mean, I just didn't think that they could match up with. I think they were just playing quicker too. I mean, Rio Grande City has some speed there.
I don't know if Palmview was getting overconfident or sleeping on his team. I don't know. This is weird.
If anything, too, on Rio Grande City, there were some instances where it seemed like the reason I thought they were going to lose it just seemed like they seemed a little bit beaten, like they were defeated by some of the plays where they came up short, where it seemed like they had scored, but it was called back. It seemed like they were defeated at that point. So I don't know, it's just one of those things where it could have gone either way. I mean, they were a yard away, and you could make the case for either team winning this game.
Another question. What number was quarterback for Palmview today? Did they use both guys, or what had they run?
No, they just went with number 3.
Number 3. Okay, so that's Pointe. Okay,
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm surprised by everything that happened in this game. The fact that they passed for as many yards as they did, and the fact that they allowed as many yards as they did.
He
the fact
completed.
that they didn't run for as many yards as they could have. I don't know.
He completed 14 and 22 passes for 179 yards.
That's insane.
Huh. Hey,
I mean, they didn't. They threw for 350 yards all of last season
With Puente?
with the whole team. Yeah, with Puente. But that was just. Well, I don't know. This is weird.
Greg's having an existential
I
breakdown.
got work to do this week with the Palmview people. I got to figure some stuff out.
Well, I mean, you mentioned Roma, and this was a game, even all week we were saying, if Palmview and Roma take care of business, that's a game of the week candidate next week, excuse me. Now we don't know if it is.
Right.
We don't know what it is, and I agree with what you said. Because Rio Grande City had struggled to score the previous 2 games. They won 13-0 over Ingleside. Final score was 14-10 over Port Isabel, 14-13.
Something like that.
13-7.
13-7. So again, this is a team that came in scoring 3 touchdowns in 2 games, and then they go off for 35 points today. Granted, it's overtime, but still, I mean, Greg's onto something here with, at least in terms of of Palmview's defense. And again, I don't think I'm not trying to say that props to Rio Grande City, sure. I mean, this is a big win for them. This is 2 big wins in 3 weeks for that team, and I know that they've got better aspirations than just winning 2 games this year. I'm sure they would love to make a postseason run as well.
Shout out Rio Grande City.
Shout out to Rio Grande City. I mean, yeah, thanks for making me eat crow. I picked you guys to lose. You were my lock of the week to lose this week. I thought Palmview was going to stomp all over you guys, and then you guys come out here and got the win. So props to you for sure. So, but again, just to bring it back, I think I'm totally agreeing with Greg here. Palmview certainly doesn't look like the team they did 24 hours ago.
Flags, man. If this is like the real Palmview, again, I guess it remains to be seen how legit Rio Grande City is, but. If this is what Palmview is, that's not good. They need to have some kind of excuse like that we slept on this team or that we weren't prepared or that we got overconfident. There needs to be something like that, or else I'm worried about them.
What are some of your concerns or some of the things that you would ask Palmview when you talk with them next week?
I got to figure out, first of all, where the offensive shift came from.
Mm-hmm.
Again, why they couldn't, have that advantage on the offensive line to just sort of have their way with Rio Grande City's defense. And I think defensively there's all of the questions to be asked defensively, just in terms of who their guys are and what they're going to be trying to accomplish on that side. What's going to be their strength? Are they going to be an attacking team? Are they going to sit they had a lot of turnover there, and I guess just winning 2 games and giving up some yardage, I was a little concerned. But now this is like full blown. Because if the defense isn't going to be good, then they're not going to be good.
I think Rio Grande City kind of has that surprise game in them. Last year they lost to Edinburgh Villa 21-20. And I don't think anyone would have predicted that kind of score from them. So I think they have that in them. Maybe it just comes out once a year and leaves us scratching our heads. But
I don't know. This is just very weird.
Well, we mentioned Palmview plays Roma next week in week 4. For Rio Grande City, they're hosting Corpus Christi King, and Corpus Christi King beat Weslaco in Corpus on Friday. That by a score of, let me check this off the top of my head. Let me look. I'm sorry, 38-27. They got the win there. So, since we are talking about Rio Grande City now, District 31 5A. Same with you, Mario. Just run us through what happened with your district real quick.
Sherryland beat Brownsville Rivera again.
John was right about this one.
Yeah,
30-0.
It was 22-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
Mission Vets had their way against La Jolla.
Horace Lincoln.
It was like
52-14. Yeah.
Edinburgh Villa won easily Thursday, and Valley View came up short again. They're 0-3.
Roma beat Uvalde.
Yeah.
Pioneer, dude.
And Pioneer, that was I saw it coming because I picked them, but but they in talking with Coach Wheeler yesterday, they were close last year against Ray. Last year the game was I think in the 4th quarter the game was called because of lightning, and they were able to avoid those issues this time. But what got them going was that they intercepted a pass in the 2nd series of the game and then scored to get on the board first, and then they scored again in the 2nd off a 45-yard pass, and they had a field goal right before the half, so they got a big lead, or comfortable cushion on them.
Props to Pioneer.
Is this more impressive for the defense or for the offense? I mean, what did we expect to do? Was it supposed to be a high-scoring game, or what are we thinking coming in?
Well, Pioneer, it's only 2 games, but Pioneer had a lot of the fewest yards.
No, I don't want to hear that.
And
they
district.
played nobody.
I know, but then now they beat Corpus Christi.
Right.
This is 3 games of evidence.
But
that
was Ray a really good offensive? How impressed am I supposed to be? I don't know.
Considering that a second-year program beats a Corpus Christi school, I think it's probably.
But is Ray supposed to be a good Corpus Christi
all
team?
Corpus Christi schools are not.
They are created
equal. There's certainly different levels of goodness and badness, and I'm just wondering how surprised I should be. Because again, I don't think any of us expected much from Pioneer. We're conditioned to see Corpus Christi versus Pioneer and just pick Corpus Christi, right? But I don't know.
Not me though.
I don't know how surprised I should be.
Corpus Christi Ray lost to Laredo Martin 22-7. Laredo Martin, I think, is a decent score.
Dennis was saying Martin's not good.
Right?
He said that about Figueroa. Was
You
I
said
think
that
he
about
said
Martin too. You
No,
said about
'cause
Martin.
that's why Dennis picked Pioneer.
Yeah, that's why Dennis picked Pioneer because he saw that Ray had lost to Martin. Martin's not good.
Martin's 1-2 now.
Should have seen it coming.
Maybe we should have seen it coming.
And they beat Corpus Christi Miller 24-6.
That also means nothing to me.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well,
But
again, we're not trying to take away from Pioneer. I mean, props to them for going up there and beating Corpus Christi, but sure.
so this defense, who are any names that they've given you that
Joe
jump out,
Gar-
or who am I supposed to know?
Joe Garza, middle linebacker. He was
Was this the dude that started at Sharyland when
As
he
a
was
sophomore.
And okay.
and then he went to Pioneer because of the split. I think he didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
I think only seniors have a choice.
Mhm.
And so he went there, played exclusively at middle linebacker last year, and in the final game of the regular season, the last quarter, they just gave him the ball like 5 or 6 times to run up. It looked kind of weird to see a middle linebacker just run with the ball. It seemed kind of awkward.
You used him at running back?
For the last like 5 or 6 snaps, and it just looked weird. He didn't really have his legs under him as a running back, so it looked a little funky. But then in talking with Coach Wheeler before the season, he said that they plan on using him more like that. He's like 5'6", 200 pounds. Tough kid. He's their leader on defense.
And they're still not going to make the playoffs.
Well,
No.
It's top heavy.
I know, yeah, it's top heavy. And again, they're a second-year team. They got a lot to do.
Well, the 3-0.
Mission Vets.
Yeah, it's not
them and Mission Vets and Roma. I don't think they're coming out of that group, but they could.
I think Roma's going to get the third.
I think it's Vela,
Well, I guess
Roma,
Yeah, he probably likes Roma better.
Roma,
than Sharyland.
yeah.
and then you have the second tier. Oh, I mean, the first tier is Vela. Then the lock, I think, is Roma number 2, and then number
The
3, 4.
lock?
Yeah, I think they would.
I wouldn't put him lock. I think
Really?
Sharyland can still get the 2 seed in that district, just because.
Oh, I should say I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if they get number 2.
Who,
Okay.
Roma? I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not going to say it's a lock.
Number 3, 4, I think is Mission Vets. Sharyland High, you could change them, although Greg is kind of high on Sharyland.
I just don't think they're bad.
Yeah, I don't think
You don't
Sharyland's
think
bad.
they're- I haven't seen them, so
I think they'll
Right.
beat Mission Vets, and I mean, they'll beat Valley View, they'll beat Rio Grande City. Sorry, Rio Grande City Twitter.
Well, okay, so is
that looks like a stronger district now. Well, not stronger, but it's more even.
Pioneer closer to Rio Grande City or closer to Mission Vets? Do you know what I mean? Assuming Rio Grande City is a notch below and Mission Vets is a notch above, where does Pioneer fit in the middle?
Well, what do you think the order is?
Well, I'm just saying we know that we are pretty safe saying top 3 is Vela.
Vela's number 1,
Roma,
Roma Sharyland
Sharyland.
is 2, 3 in some order, and then Mission Vets is 4.
Okay.
Assuming every team is healthy without any kind of
So I guess
catastrophic
is
injury.
Pioneer even better than Rio Grande City? How do you rank them at this point? Okay, so he's not sure.
No, I don't think we could say now.
I just don't think
I think it's
Pioneer's.
too
So then I guess neither of them will play.
Yeah, I mean,
If Mario's not
again, they're a
sure.
second-year team, and they're trying to find their way. But hey, props to them. They beat a Corpus Christi team.
But I mean, they're
Yeah.
better than last season, though. Whereas last
Okay.
season we knew the top 3 teams, and then Roma turned out to be a really good team. This year it seems like the one certainty is Vela, and then we have a lot of
Right.
good teams.
But
Well,
hey,
you've got Vela, and then you got 2 good teams. Then you've got a bunch of fringe playoff teams aside from like Valley View.
let's give Mission
Yeah.
Vets some credit for taking care of business, though, because we've been knocking them for
Right, we
nothing
have.
in these
Yeah, we
games
have.
by more
Yeah,
points.
yeah. I've said that Mission Vets is a B-list Valley team, and I think they are still a B-list Valley team. But hey,
This means as
they
far
did
as
what they
like-
should have done against Juarez Lincoln. Yeah, Juarez Lincoln's a C or D-list team. So
Right. So yeah, because that's the thing we've been saying is they're supposed to win these games by more and they don't. So this is them winning the game by as much
Yeah.
as they should.
So there you
that's
go.
good. I think that about does it. Do you want to talk about your teams, John? What you got this week?
Wait, are we done with Rio Grande City talk?
yeah,
We'll loop back around.
we're done with Rio Grande City talk.
Travis Bates rushes for 5,000 yards, and we talk about him for 2 minutes. And
Yeah.
Mario wants 15 minutes on Rio Grande City.
No, we're done with Rio Grande City football until next week.
Way to keep them
Until
locked
Tuesday.
Until Tuesday.
Until the post show.
In terms of my district, okay, Wessecoese, Harlingen South, rained out. PSG Memorial, McAllen Row, rained out.
Man, I wanted to see that one.
Edinburgh High, they finally scored points this year. They had a pick 6 and a touchdown. They finally got on the board this year, but they still lost 48-13 to Brownsville Vets. I'm trying to think here. Econ got their first win of the year, big time against PSJ High, 46-0. I talked to Coach Gabe Payne over the phone. He said they got to cash their check today. Whatever that means, I'm glad they did it.
Such a college quote, right?
It is, but good for them. Good for Econ finally getting their first win. Weslaco High, as I mentioned, played Corpus Christi. They lost. I should note that they played very well despite the loss. They had 3 turnovers. If that doesn't happen, they may win that game. But Brian Guerra had 100 yards on 14 carries with a touchdown. They even threw a couple times for a touchdown. They had a passing touchdown. Look at Coach Tony.
Them and Palmview mixing it up.
Look at Coach Tony V throwing it out there. But there was one game I went to, and it was Friday night. It was one of the few Friday night games that was 5 or 6A that wasn't canceled. It was Ed Couch-Elsa at Edinburgh North, and this game was just total crap. It was absolute crap because of.
Was it delayed at any point?
It was delayed. It was supposed to kick off at 7:30. It kicked off at 8:10.
That's not bad.
It was absolute crap. There was, to give you a hint, Ed Couch won 35-12. There were 7 touchdowns scored in this game, but there were 10 turnovers combined for both teams. It was not pleasant. Marco Aguinaga went out in the first quarter with a left hand injury. Dennis Silva says that it is a hairline fracture. He's out a couple weeks.
Yikes. Aguinaga, beat reporter?
Huh?
He's the beat reporter?
Yeah, he's the Ed Couch-Elsa beat reporter, I suppose. But when Marco Aguinaga was in there, their offense looked great. They scored 14 points like that. The very first play from scrimmage was a 75-yard touchdown pass from Aguinaga to Tay Valdez. They were marching, and the route was on from the get-go. And then Aguinaga gets hurt, and then it's just a bunch of ugly football. It was rainy. The rain picked back up. It had dissipated for a bit, but the rain picked back up. It was fumbles. There were turnovers. Edinburgh North looked flat. I talked to Coach Sines after the game. He was pissed. You could just see it. The players on that team looked pissed. Everyone on that team looked pissed. Even I think it was Coach Sines' daughter. There was a coach's kid following one of the coaches around, and even they looked pissed. It was not a good day to be a member of the Edinburgh North Cougars. Again, they only scored 12 points. They didn't score in the second half. It was sloppy. It was messy, and I don't know what we learned in this game. I asked Coach Marcellar for Ed Couch. I'm like, okay, you win the game, but you turn the ball over a bunch and you lose your best player. Now what? And they've got a bye next week. Everyone in that district has a bye next week. And he's like, we're still trying to establish, a yellow jacket identity. And it's like, they already know what their identity is. They're just trying to throw the ball a bunch. And like they know what their identity is. And so, I don't know. I mean, they're lucky that they have a bye, so that's a week where Aguinaga can rest. And then week 1 for district play, they play Piaget High, which I don't want to say is a bye, but Piaget High has struggled as well. So they kind of catch a break here. I'm just more concerned with Edinburgh North because, they want to be a playoff team again. They, even Coach Sines says they want to win the district title. I don't think that's going to happen. I wish them luck, but I don't know. Maybe the weather was a factor here. I feel like maybe if it's played under sunny skies, maybe Edinburgh North plays better. But still, they looked flat on both sides. Defense got no stops. The offense turned the ball over a bunch. Christian Espinosa, their quarterback, his decision making looked poor. He had some bad passes, and it just bad news for the Cougars this week.
They look comfortably like the 5th best team in the district right now, I think.
After who? So we got Weslaco High.
PSJ North,
Weslaco East, PSJ Memorial. Yeah, they're probably 5th best. You're right. Yeah, and they've got some guys out, obviously in the running back game. But I mean, even then, they couldn't run the ball yesterday. It didn't matter who it was; they couldn't run the ball at all. I think they had one or two games that was better than 15 yards running. And other than that, it was just 2 yards here, 3 yards there. There's a lot of 3 and outs. Because it was rainy, the kicking game wasn't that strong. They were giving Ed Couch-Elsa short fields consistently. It just wasn't fun. It wasn't fun to watch that game at all.
Now, we had an Economides, at least interested person on the Periscope. So as we're talking about top to bottom, is Economides, near them, or would you still put Economides sort of a lower tier? I think that was a team you had been down on to this point, but just 46-0 change.
Well, they're dealing with injuries. Their running game is getting better. They want to be like Weslaco. Gabe Payne, from what I understand, comes from Weslaco.
Just the slot.
Yeah, he wants to run the ball and he wants to stop the run. Well, week 1, they run the ball for 100 yards. Right. And they lose to Hannah. Week 2, they play McAllen Memorial. So they run for like 190 yards, but again, they played McAllen Memorial.
Right.
And they lost 56-21 or something. It was close in the first half, and then the Trevor Spate show happened. Today, again, they win 46-0 over PSG High. They had 3 offensive starters out, one being Alan Garcia, their tight end, who Coach Gabe has said is probably their best offensive player. Their starting running back is out. His name escapes me. I apologize for not knowing, but he's missed ever since the first quarter of Hannah. He's had a bruised tailbone, so he's not there. They're still trying to figure things out. They need healthy bodies. They need a consistent running game, and they need a defense. And I know they shut out PSG High, but PSG High is in rebuilding mode this year, so I don't know how to quite grade their performance this week. But like I said, regarding Econ in the beginning part of the season, it wouldn't surprise me if they were the 4th seed, if everything broke right for them. If they have to stay healthy, their run game has to be there, their defense has to be there, and someone, be it Edinburgh North or PSG Memorial, has to struggle or have injuries. But I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the Jaguars were there in the bi-district round. But again, it's still week 3, so they got things to figure out still.
Now, I have a similar question for you that I had for Mario earlier, which is with Westlaco High losing to King 38-27. How do we put that in perspective? What did we expect coming in? Is this a good showing or a bad showing?
I think it's a good showing. Last year, they lost this game 28-7. I mean, they only scored 7 points, and like I said, they ran the ball well, and they even threw the ball well. I mean, when they decided to do it, now they threw a touchdown, but they also threw an interception, and they had 2 fumbles. Turnovers were the big thing here. But when I talked to Coach Villarreal before they went up there, he was like, he's just trying to see how fast his team is, because he knows that, at least on the defensive side, he knows the defense can get stops, but he wants them to be faster, and that's the whole point of playing out of valley competition for Westlaco, was to test their speed. From what I understand on Twitter, one player for Westlaco got ejected. I don't know why. I haven't had a chance to talk to anyone from Westlaco yet, but I think it's a positive sign. I mean, I predicted them to lose 28-7. I thought it'd be a repeat. I thought they would take their lumps and they get the loss. But if they don't turn the ball over 3 times, maybe they get the win here and they surprise us. So we're talking about I will say this though. I'm going to make a bold prediction right now.
Do you have the hot take?
I got the hot take corner.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna do it right now. I think I'm going to say this right now. Let it be known on the RGV Week 3 recap podcast / Periscope show that I think Westlaco High is going to go undefeated in district play.
Oh, snap!
At the beginning part of the season in 31-6A, there was no real favorite, at least on paper. In the early going of the season, I feel like Westlaco High has been the most consistent team by far and away. I'm picking them to go. Undefeated in that district. Now, they went 5-1 last year. They lost to PSG North 14-7. Not saying it's going to be easy, but I think they're going to do it. I really do. Their defense looks great. Their running game looks great. It doesn't matter who they put in there. They produce. Whether it's like I think in the last 2 games they've run 9 or 10 guys from the backfield, and it's just if you're healthy and you got 2 legs, go out there and run. So I'm picking Westlaco to win that district and do so going undefeated.
Now, go ahead, Mario.
I was gonna say things are open, and Dennis isn't here, so we should probably.
Oh, we'll get there.
Okay.
I got a plan.
Okay, because I was gonna say things are wide open in 32-5A after Porter lost because they were top of their district.
No. We're not talking. We are not talking about Brownsville Porter like a playoff team. No. Anyways, I didn't mention PSG North in my district.
I was going to say this is the last one that I wanted to make sure we touch on because personally I thought they would lose this game by 30 or whatever.
I thought they would too.
I think we like Los Fresnos a lot. So have you talked to anybody about this one? Or did you
I haven't had a chance. I didn't see too much of the story. Andrew Crum wrote a story about this game. He covered it. It's on RGVSports.com if you want to check it out. Or if you live in the Brownsville area, it's in the Brownsville Herald for the Sunday edition of the paper. I'm not really sure how to read that. I haven't even seen any stats from that. It was a pretty...
I happen to have some stats right here.
Oh, here you go. What do we got here?
PSG North ran for 200 yards, which seems like a lot, but they only threw for 40. And
they can't do that.
But holding Los Fresnos to 158 rushing yards on 32 carries seems pretty good.
So their defense got some stops. That's encouraging because when they played Brownsville Vets, their defense got lit up. Bad. But no, in terms of PSG North, they are a spread offensive team. They like to run the ball as opposed to passing, but they can do both. They want to do both. And if one or the other isn't there, they're not going to win, at least very often, especially against a team as good as Los Fresnos. So
yeah, it just looks like Rene Ortega for Los Fresnos completed 14 of 23 passes for 194 yards.
Their quarterback, Los Fresnos' quarterback, he's in the conversation for best quarterback in the Valley. Him and Marcus Castillo at Brownsville Vets.
Did you forget about Seth Carter?
We're not talking about Seth Carter.
Oh my God, Mario, calm down.
Did you see the numbers he's put up?
Yeah,
you've seen him play twice.
Yeah, he's good. But
he's fine, but we're not
anyway.
Oh my God.
I guess the passing offense just wasn't there for them.
No, it just wasn't there.
So that's what happens.
And now in 32-6, so we've kind of touched on teams just by talking about our own game. Harlingen, Los Fresnos, and San Benito. Rivera lost. Brownsville Vets got the win today against.
That's
Edinburgh
sort
High.
of. You don't really.
That's still probably the strongest district.
Which one?
In the Valley, 32-6A.
I feel good about them.
Yeah,
that's kind of weird with the 8 team because we saw last year with every sport they had ties, like 3-way ties for first.
Yeah, they did. But that's probably the best district for football. easily. You got Los Fresnos and Harlingen there, and they're probably 2-3 best team in the Valley.
Who's the fourth?
Probably put Vela.
No, I mean, sorry, in that district, 32-6-8, Harlingen, Los Fresnos, Brownsville Veterans, and who's
And
the
then
fourth?
maybe Harlingen South. Maybe.
No, that wasn't
No.
it. Who did we like? Mario asking.
Oh, San Benito. Yeah, San Benito.
Yes.
That's who it is.
We still like him?
Yeah, we like
Yeah.
San Benito. Yeah. They were with Memorial the whole way. They were up.
They did probably better than Sharyland.
Yeah, they did really well against Memorial, and I mean the fourth quarter got away from them, but yeah, they played Memorial really well. San Benito's still a top 10 team for me. So, yeah, are they gonna have? They're gonna have 4 teams in the top 10. 32-6 is gonna have 4 teams in the top 10 again. So yeah, by far and away, that's the best district.
Yeah.
So their last year's 31-5A.
Sure.
No, last year's 31-5A had 3 teams, and then at the end we found out Roma was good. That doesn't count.
We're finding out early.
We're talking about because we were basing last year off like non-district. We're basing this year, and we were basing last year on non-district results. And again, I think this year what 32-6A is doing is really strong.
Yeah, 32-6A. I'm impressed with those teams for sure. And we're not going to talk about 32-5A. Ed Couch gets the win. Mercedes gets the win over La Feria. They open up the new stadium with the win. Congratulations. That's their first win of the year. Hunky dory, you beat a 4A team. In term now.
Donna High beat Brownsville Hannah 28-27.
Donna High beat Brownsville Hannah. We all picked Donna. They got their first win.
Yeah.
We figured it'd
But
be
again,
about
with that
one
game, I don't know what to make of that game. And again, Dennis isn't here. He covers 32-5A. Dennis Silver for us. He's not here.
If you called him right now, do you think he'd be asleep with his
I don't know what he'd be doing.
It's almost Texans game day.
But we got to wrap up here shortly. Hannah's 2-1. Again, they're at 32-6-8. I wouldn't be surprised if they're a playoff
Who
team
they beat?
as well.
They beat Mission and they beat They only beat Economides by 7. I don't know. I'm waiting to see this Donna team that we thought was supposed to be good.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
Dennis
Dennis
thought. Dennis thought they were
Well, I
gonna
guess
be
he talked me into it.
He
so
talked us all
we-
into
yeah.
it. But I mean, we'll see. Donna's still going to be a playoff team. That district is
Right.
not strong?
no, it's not strong at all. They're going to beat Pace. They're going to beat Porter. They're going to beat Donna North, and they're going to beat PSJ High. Congratulations, you just made the playoffs, and now you're going to lose in the first round.
They ran for 346 yards at least. That looks pretty good.
That's the way that entire district, 32-5A, that entire district, aside from maybe Ed Couch,
It's the Eastern Conference.
they're all
It's the Eastern
aside from maybe Ed
Conference.
Couch. Everyone in that district, I think, is going to lose in the first round of playoffs.
They're
Everyone,
the NBA's Eastern Conference.
every one of them. That's just the way it's going to happen.
They very well could.
Yep, they are. Because who's going to get the 4 seed? If it's PSG Southwest, congrats. You got to go play Vela. You're going to lose. And then
Play Roma, you're going to lose. You're going to
play Roma, Sharyland. Yeah,
Sharyland, and Mission
Is
Reds.
it, who's top? Was Ed Couch going to be Ed Couch?
it's probably going to be Ed Couch versus Ed Couch versus
Just my
Roma.
Roma.
Ed Couch versus Mission Vets.
Because it's not a one. Remember, it's not a 1-4-2-3.
Oh, it depends on it's the Division One
right.
thing. But
Either way.
either way, if you're not Ed Couch, I don't think you're getting past the first round. I really don't. And Ed Couch, even then, I'm not saying Ed Couch is a lock to go to the second round. I could see them losing the first round too if it's a bad matchup. But that district is really weak. It's really, really weak in a lot of sports, and I don't know why.
I'm scanning for other items of note from that district. Oh, PSG Southwest lost to Gruya. Speaking of
Yes, but
Jesus
Jesus Acosta was out with that game, and Dennis said Gruya was going to win. So.
Right, but speaking of that district not being very strong, there's a good example because that's a team we think is going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and granted they're without Jesus Acosta, but you would think that
Right,
you
but-
could plug in the next guy. Maybe Acosta is that big for them.
To
Who
beat
knows, but-
Gruya though, to beat a 4A.
Analyze PSG High for like 2 minutes, please. They're not good. I mean,
No, we would need if you want to come back when Dennis is here. That's the district.
Yeah,
that we
on
cover.
Tuesday,
Focus
on Tuesday, we have the 5A show. We can talk to Dennis Silva, who covers this district a bit at length. But from what I understand, they had a lot of turnover. They're trying to find 10 new starters on defense. You know, Econ is not what I would call a top tier Valley team, and they got outscored 46-0.
No, Econ's not even close to it.
Yeah. You know, they've got in the last 2 quarters, in the last 2 games, PSG High has scored 6 points.
Right.
So I mean, they're young.
In the game, they gave up 78 to.
Yeah, they got
PSG
78 dropped on them against PSG North. They're young. They're going to take their lumps this year for
Of
sure.
the 5A and 6A schools, they might have the worst resume in the Valley right now.
Then Mission High in
In
Edinburgh?
terms of wins and losses in the score.
Then Mission High in Edinburgh?
Mission High won today.
Edinburgh's 0-3,
Edinburgh.
and everyone, no one's really picked Edinburgh. I mean, I projected them to go 2-8. I wouldn't be surprised if they went 1-9. So Edinburgh plays Mission next week. I mean, that could be a win for them. If that's not a win for them, by the time district rolls around, I don't see how they beat anyone in district aside from maybe Econ if injury happens. I don't know.
Edinburgh High has at least played better teams.
Piaget High. I mean,
really
they're young. They're going to take their lumps.
And it might be the same guy. Somebody commented that they've been rebuilding for 5 years now.
Oh, have they? Okay.
I mean, I know last year was not a great season for them either.
I don't know. We'll see.
John, can you get up for UANL?
Huh?
UANL.
Mario's lock of the week.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, they played Porter. Congrats. I mean, Porter's not
2-0 Porter.
Porter's not good. Porter who beat.
No.
Porter who beat.
You are so lucky that you got hired here after we had a decent amount of games because this is the garbage that he pulled.
Porter who beat Progresso.
When the teams
you're gonna tout a team that beats Progresso as like some powerhouse? No.
I didn't say that.
Well, you're like, they're 2-0.
When the teams
No. Mario likes to troll from time to time, and this is what he's doing. He's trying to get a response to get some kind of hot take on the podcast, and I'm not going to give it to him. Porter is not a good football team. So what? They beat Progresso.
No, but only Dennis.
Almost any team in the Valley could beat Progresso.
Who picked them? It wasn't a sweep.
I picked them. Listen, Mario's number one move is to, after 2 or 3 weeks, find the team that has played like only 2A schools and give up 40 yards a game and call them the best defense in the Valley. That's Mario's top move.
Who did I do that with?
He did it with, I forget who it was last year, but this year it's Pioneer.
Mario's just a troll.
I did it last year?
Yeah, there was somebody. You know what? It might have been Roma. This might have been where I got. This was the start probably of me getting in trouble with.
Yeah, then look what happened.
They didn't have a great year, dude.
They didn't have a great year.
They didn't have a great regular season.
They'll remember that year as being a successful.
Oh yeah,
year.
absolutely, and they should. But they didn't have a great regular season.
Neither did Rivera.
Okay, what's your
point? They won the third round. It's how you finish, Greg. These coaches tell you.
I'm just saying they didn't have a great regular season. That's it. That's why I was saying the thing.
Yeah, Porter's 2-0. They beat Progresso and Lopez. Stop it. They're nothing.
I didn't push it.
And once again, for the second straight week or third straight week, you've got me talking about Porter when they're garbage. Why?
Hey, they're struggling. But the thing is,
and listen, you're saying that they didn't have a great year for some of the schools that I'm mentioning. 32-5, they had Mercedes had a good year, and look what happened. And how good does it do to have a good year? If we're going to Porter's going
to beat Donna North, maybe beat Pace. So there you go. There's their 4 wins. They're going to go 4-6. Congrats, Porter.
What about district?
There's your season. That's district. They got Donna North, Ed Calchelsea, Piaget Southwest, Pace, Donna, Piaget High, Mercedes. Okay, they maybe beat Piaget High. They might get 3 wins, but even then they're not making playoffs.
Isn't Piaget High? Didn't we just get done saying they're bad?
Yeah. I said maybe they beat Piaget High, but either way, 3 wins is not going to get you a playoff spot. Not in that district.
I know it would make you turn red, but I'm not going to say it.
What?
They probably have the number 1 defense, or
they're
the best passing.
Yeah, their quarterback's as good as Kai Money. Who cares? No, we're done. We're done talking about Brownsville schools for now. I think we're done with the podcast in general.
Mad all of a sudden.
I know,
because I let Mario's trolling.
This is what happened to me all last year, except there wasn't another person there who realized he was crazy.
Dennis.
No, Dennis was with you on all this stuff. He'd be like,
he knows Africa. He knows Africa.
Dennis would have your back on all your crazy claims.
Well, Dennis makes some crazy.
New rule. We're gonna have. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have
Peter now. New rule.
We're gonna have a Porter, Pace, Lopez swear jar. Where anytime on this show, be it Periscope podcast, whatever. If we mention Porter or Pace or Lopez, aside from a final score, you have to put a quarter. You have to put a quarter in the swear jar. And that money's going to get donated to charity. That's going to happen. That's going to be a thing.
What charity?
I'm not joking. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
We raised $225 for charity this year.
We're going to do that. Anytime it happens, we're going to have a Porter, Pace, Lopez swear jar.
But then we get to talk about them because
no, we don't. It's not, if it's not a final score, we're not talking about it.
Then we get to talk about them because we paid.
If it's not a final score, we're not talking about it because they're teams that are not worthy of so much attention.
Did we mention the Pace Lopez score for this week?
Shut up. We're not talking about Pace Lopez.
This is the only way we balance out the coverage because we rarely.
We don't have to balance out
coverage.
coverage.
Doesn't deserve to be balanced.
We don't have to balance out coverage. We haven't talked about. I mean, we talked about Edinburgh High for 10 seconds because they're 0-3 and they're a struggling team.
We talked about PSJ High because somebody asked.
Yeah. We just like Valley View. You mentioned the game and we moved on because they're not a good team. And no. We're done. I think we're on a podcast.
Yeah, we did it.
All right, we did it, kids. All right, thank you so much.
#Angry John.
Thank you so much for checking out this episode of the RGVSports.com podcast. We went a little bit long. Thanks for staying the whole way if you did. We'll be back next week, Tuesday/Wednesday. Going to be talking about Class 5A, getting ready for RGV Week 4. If you want to look us up on Twitter and Facebook, please do so, RGVSports.com. We also have a podcast account on iTunes for all of you Apple users out there. Hit the subscribe button in your podcast app if you would. It will come right to your smartphone and or tablet and or mobile device. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at John LaFollette. Greg, where can people find you?
At Greg Luca.
Mario
Mario_Aguirre.
And with that, we'll be back next time.
Too.
And Den Silva
At
2 for
Den
Dennis.
Silva 2.
And so thank you so much for checking this out, and we'll be back next time, guys.
God, Mario really ran that show off the rails.
I don't know how.
We were on a good track, and then he just took us all.
Well, you said we were going to talk about 32-5A, and I figured.
Insofar as it was necessary.
And
Did we get any questions, by the way? I know we wanted to end the podcast.
Any questions? Do we have any questions for the post show?
And then the
Happy to talk
UANL
about
got a
that.
violent response all of a sudden.
No, it was when you
Because
said
you
that
wanted to mention
was,
Porter.
It was when you tried to tell us that Porter was legit. that we started.
I just said they were 2-0.
Why?
Because they were 2-0.
So
Yeah,
That's
but that
it.
doesn't mean anything.
you don't have to present every fact.
Like Hannah's 2-1, but who cares?
My shirt is white. I don't just say it on the podcast.
Yeah, but I wouldn't get mad about it either.
I would
Yeah, but you said it in
Okay.
the fact that it might surprise people. Like they beat Progresso and some other no.
I said they would surprise people. I didn't say that.
Oh, you're such a troll.
You guys assume you guys are filling in.
Don't just say things that you don't mean, then.
Any other
I mean
questions?
that they're
I think
2-0.
I really hope I didn't hurt that PSA High fans' feelings. I mean,
Who?
the
No,
one
he
that-
asked for. I wish Dennis was here. He could give that guy some analysis on.
They're just young.
Haven't they
positions of
played your
strength
guys'
and
teams
weaknesses.
though?
Huh?
Haven't they played your guys' teams?
No.
PSA High, they played PSA Memorial and lost 33-6, 34-6, something like that.
They didn't play any of my squads yet.
And they played PSA North and lost 78-26.
So PSJ North is the best PSJ school.
Ooh.
For football,
Well, hey, we got
Yeah.
to see. I think Memorial is still TBD.
Memorial still TBD. Roe was going to be a measuring stick, and it didn't happen because it
Well, here's
rained.
the problem.
Is Roe a measuring stick?
Huh?
Is Roe a measuring stick? Aren't they?
For,
No,
for Memorial, it was
Okay.
going to be.
Roe is actually a terrible measuring stick because they could play good or bad on any given.
Well, that's still probably Roe is easily going to be Memorial's best
Well,
opponent because they
the
played
thing-
Juarez Lincoln and they played PSA High.
Dennis was like so high on PSA Memorial this week because I
Based on
remember-
what?
Well, we had.
He's high on PSA Memorial because their coach Mike Aguirre was at Mercedes
Well, I
forever, and
don't
like
know
he
what
used
the
to,
reason is.
he's buddies with them. Like that's why.
No, but the thing is that I asked when we were trying to pick our game of the week. I told him to rank PSJ Memorial, Roe, Sherryland, and Rivera 1 to 4.
Well, you know why he won.
And he put PSJ Memorial.
There's a reason because it's personal bias on Dennis's part because he's buddies with Mike Aguirre, and I'm not faulting him for that. But that we have to acknowledge that is a thing. That is a thing.
What's the
number
thing with
two?
Ed Calchowski? Why does he like Ed Calchowski?
I
They're
don't
just
know.
like scrappy underdogs.
And then number two, he thinks we have to shoehorn Vela into a game of the week because they're ranked in our top 10.
Mario,
Vela's
can
gonna
you
win by
vote,
what?
please? Did you vote yet? We can
And
announce
Vela-
our game of the week right now if you'll make your.
Vela will get its
Well, we have
game
to
of
prove
the
it by
week.
Peter.
Vela will likely get
We
its
can
game.
announce our tentative game of the week.
Vela will likely get its game of the week when they play Sherryland on September
Yeah.
25th.
That'll be
Vela
passing of the
PSA
torch.
Memorial. I'm interested to watch it, but that is not game of the week material.
The
That's
team-
not even close.
The team that beat Juarez Lincoln by 7 is not going to hang with Vela.
No, I don't think so. And now
And
again,
I didn't know that they would hang in this week. Ooh, what's that?
which team has the most balanced offense?
Good question.
That's good. That is a good question.
Vela?
Are they balanced? Can they throw and pass?
Throw in pass.
Statistically, look it up. What do they got statistically as a team?
When I saw through week 2, I think it was like
I'm going to go to our stats page now.
55, 45.
What about week
maybe?
3?
I haven't got their stats yet.
Shout out Los Fresnos, right? They
Yeah,
do
Los
okay.
Fresnos. Brownsville veterans looked really balanced when I saw them.
Really?
PSA North can be balanced if the matchup is right.
I
The
think
Brownsville
today
vets I
it's
knew
not.
was just the running team.
Hmm?
The Brownsville vets I knew never really passed the ball too much.
When I saw them at PSJ against PSA North, they were doing both.
And now it's like Brownsville vets dyed its hair and I don't recognize it anymore.
Brownsville vets is offense. Los Fresnos
PSJ
is
Memorial?
balanced. PSJ Memorial, their running game isn't quite where they want it to be.
Yeah, I guess you got to separate, like, nobody wants to know who's the most. Nobody wants to know that Brownsville Lopez has 206 rushing yards and 190 passes.
Yeah.
We're talking about good balance.
Yeah, good balanced teams. Brownsville Vets, Los Fresnos, Mario says Vela. I say PSA North with an asterisk given the matchup. PSA Memorial could be balanced again, asterisk given the matchup, but they're not quite to the level of Los Fresnos or Brownsville Vets or even Vela. What about you? What about your district?
No,
they're all run heavy?
They run the ball. That's what they do.
I was going to say
except for Rowe, they only pass. That's the Well, hey, I gotta figure out what's up with Palmview now. They pass the ball some today.
That's for sure.
32-5A, a lot of running. Ed Couch maybe.
Which teams do we think can go 3 deep right now?
McCallum Memorial looks really strong.
McCallum Memorial.
Now there's a lot of haters in the house.
Mario, who do you think Vela can go 3 deep?
I mean, it depends on matchups, but
I'm just saying, like,
just in a
no, it's like, because I think that was the case too. Like last year, I don't know if it's Dennis that was making the case, saying that one of the teams had bad luck in drawing Sherryland in the first round.
Sherryland High is the most balanced offense, probably. They were 50-50 through 2 years.
Sherryland High, yeah.
They were like legitimately 50-50.
Well, I guess when I think balanced offense, I think of many weapons, and I don't know. I haven't seen Sherryland play, so I don't know if they're just loaded with weapons.
I just think just in terms of like just productivity on off and passing and
but anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Whereas Vela has like
in
5.
In terms of the 3 deep conversation.
Yeah, but do you think Vela's could go 3 rounds?
Yeah, because I think last year they were close to coming down to the wire. I remember Coach Salinas just had his quarterback just throw long balls. I guess they were just gambling at that point because the team they were facing was just so overpowering, just athletically,
right.
And so they just gambled there. They were going to live and die with the long ball. So I think they could. I mean, I think they're better than last year. A lot of it though hinges on their defense. I know they're giving up way too many points to teams that they shouldn't allow to score that much.
Right. That's why I don't have them in my top 3.
But
that
even
concerns me.
Even with that, Vela still won by the widest margin last season, at least in their district. So. And
again, with 31-5A teams, at least in terms of playoff matchups, they got first round. They're playing 32-5A teams, and that favors 31-5A teams so strongly.
McCallum Memorial is equipped to go 3 deep unless they run into a team with like a super great running defense, and then they can.
Right. I would be interested, not playoff-wise, if Ed Couch Elsa versus Vela becomes a game, I'd be interested to watch that.
Because Vela.
That's what we didn't.
Because Aguinagua, like I've seen what he can do, and that guy's healthy. That offense just clicks, and they score quickly. They score quickly. Now, again, I would favor Vela in that matchup easily, but I would be interested just to watch in terms of X's and O's how that matchup would play out.
Didn't we say that last
Every
year?
other matchup, like Sherryland Mercedes or Roma Mercedes, like, nah, I'm not watching that.
We said that last year about Sherryland and Ed Couch, right? And then Sherryland blew him out in the first round?
Yeah, they did.
Right, but, I mean, Ed Couch has totally reinvented their offense. All they do is pass. They pass. So, I don't know. And again, like I said, I would take the 31-5A teams every time, but Ed Couch is the 32-5A team that when they get to the playoffs, I'll be like, what are they going to do? Like, how are they going to look? So, everyone else is pretty much a foregone conclusion.
So Dennis gets off early. Dennis will be done in...
That's why he loves covering that district.
He's got a bye this week.
They get a bye week. And
they'll be done 2 to 3
He's got 2 Brownsville schools he doesn't have to cover. and then their playoffs, they never go that far. So he's done like the first week of the playoffs.
He's done late October.
So then he can start covering the Vipers, right? Yep, right when Viper season starts.
Right on schedule.
That's why he loves that district.
To be fair, though, I don't think he picked it. I think we were all pretty flexible.
We got a Periscope question. Who's got the better defense in 31-5A? Roma?
Didn't even flinch, just Roma. Roma's the answer to most.
Yeah, man, is anybody even... Are any of the other ones even, like, good? Pioneer TBD?
Pioneer will say it is, but until we see them
Right.
play against competition that you guys respect.
Like, great, you stopped.
That is respectable.
That's... Whatever, you're just...
I think they're a second-year program. Look how Don North.
We're not asking you to grade them on a curve. We're just wanting you to grade them overall.
I think
to me it seems like a very weak year overall. Very few good teams. Well, I mean that's kind of the way it is, like year by year in the Valley. It seems like, right?
Yeah,
well, this year there's 3 first-tier teams: Vela, Memorial,
maybe 4.
There's Fresno's and Harlingen. Harlingen's there.
Yeah, 4 then.
I think Weslaco's there. I really do. I do.
I think they're the second tier.
I think.
Let me pull it. Hold on.
They're the first row of economy class.
Do they really move the ball well enough to be up there?
What do you mean move the ball well enough?
Like offensively.
But that offense is designed to score a lot of points.
I think it would help.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, here's what Weslaco's bread and butter is killing the clock, running the ball a lot, long possessions, no turnovers, and then a defense that just smothers the run. Like that's what
Yeah.
they do. Like they have no. I'm sure they would love to have an offense that could score 45 points a game, and I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if they had a favorable matchup. They could do that, but I'm just saying like they just prefer to just have these long drives where they just march down the field like an army of brontosauruses. You know,
Army of Brontosaurus.
That's what Palmview did today.
yeah, and like you
Well,
know,
no, I guess evidently not. Like,
There was a drive. I wish I had my notes right here. There was one that it took
I think-
a long time.
that's
For me,
what I thought
for me,
they
I,
would do.
and again, I haven't seen Westlaco play. I want to see him play next week when they play Harlingen. I'm excited for that matchup, but I think they're a top tier team.
All right, what's our
maybe
game
it's
of the
maybe it's because
I text
they're
you.
dude. What's the game of the week?
My
Am I
phone's up
announcing
there.
it?
My phone's up there, so you would
Don't
have
say
to
PHA
tell.
Memorial Vela. If you do,
Okay,
I'm
you
going to
asked-
shame you so hard you're going to people it.
Calm down.
I promise you.
Calm down. Angry John.
Okay, so wait, pull it up. So, because then Dennis and I cancel each other out. So, how does this compare to what you had? Oh, what's the Harlingen wins? Right? Right? Somebody tally. Oh, wait, you can't do math? 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2, right?
3 plus. Oh, he put up number. Oh, it's 3 plus. It's 1 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2.
So that's
Either
9.
way, it wins.
How about Roma Palm?
It's the only one that got 2 first place votes.
2, 2, 2. No, I think it's tied. Oh my god.
So let's get rid of.
freaking tie.
God, why does Dennis put Memorial Vela?
He's
Is
not-
Brownsville Vets a top tier team?
Top 10 team, maybe?
They're a top 10 team. Top tier, I don't really know.
Well, we have, I
The
guess.
tier's 4 deep.
Right.
The first one.
We think the top tier is like we said, Memorial.
Memorial,
Vela.
Los Fresnos, Vela, Los Fresnos. Yeah, Brownsville Vets is still good. They're in my top 10 again, and I'm impressed with what I saw from them. Top tier,
Man, I
TBD.
guess, am I gonna?
Once district rolls around, we'll know. We'll know for sure what Brownsville Vets really is made of, because then they got to play Harlingen and they got to play Los Fresnos and they've got to play San Benito. So we'll see. As good as they are, they might be the 4th best team in that district.
Brownsville Vets is gonna be.
Well, yeah, because it's going to be a 4-way tie. Sorry.
But again, Brownsville's quarterback is so good. Marcus Castillo, from what I saw, that guy, he's the real deal in terms of Valley quarterbacks. So.
Brownsville Vets is gonna be my number 6, I think.
Yeah, that's not out. Yeah, I could see that.
Who's 5?
West.
Westlaco. Yeah, Westlaco.
Yeah.
Westlaco number 5.
I guess I gotta move McAllen High and Palmview down, and then who's gonna? Does somebody?
Why
pass
is-
them? So wait, yo, we gotta figure. Let's figure it out on the show, man. What are we talking about for game of the week? We tied, right?
He's texting Dennis.
What happens if you sort out? Okay, how about this? Take away,
We can't take away Memorial Vela because Dennis has it number 1.
but then who voted? Like who had Westlaco? How many people had Westlaco Harlingen higher than?
All of us did. We all had Vela Memorial number 3, and he's got it number 1.
No, but he had. Which one did he? Who did he have second?
Roma Palmview.
So he's got. Oh. Mario really screwed us over.
How?
Because
Me?
you forced the tie when you put Roma Palmview number 1.
He forced it when he put Vela.
You're actually more interested to see Roma Palmview than Westlaco Harlingen. A team knocking on the door of being considered one of the top tier in the valley versus a team that just lost to Rio Grande City and somebody who we already know what they do well. What's more intriguing to you? If Westlaco wins
this is
that,
a
if
district
Westlaco
bias.
wins that game, then it blasts the whole top tier conversation wide open, right? Because now you have to: is there 5 or is there just 3? Or
And if Harlingen
is there
wins,
a
what does it
middle
do?
ground?
If
Then they
Harlingen
solidify
wins?
themselves as potentially the top 1 team in the valley.
Harlingen?
They start getting in that conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think this game. I'm very interested to see how this one plays out. Whereas Roma Palmview, either way.
Because
I'm
you're
not
down on
that-
Roma.
I'm not down. We're both
I'm
probably
gonna
going to
go-
put Roma in the top 10. We're not
Yeah,
down on
and
Roma.
I'm
It's
gonna
2 weeks
go.
late.
I'm gonna go cover the game because it's the best game.
That's a good game on paper. It's just Westlaco Harlingen trumps it.
It's
All right.
I like the
I'll go with
stakes.
Harlingen Westlaco.
There you
I
go.
like
There you
the
go. There you
stakes.
go. There you go. We have enough votes.
Calm down, John. Just calm down.
This my Periscope friends is
Yeah.
called peer pressure.
I really do. I kind of like that.
But why does Dennis want PSA Memorial Vela's game of the week? No.
he thinks PSG Memorial's good, dude?
I mean, they're probably a playoff team, but they can't. I'd be surprised if they hung with Vela. If Vela, put up 30 points,
Mario, I think I have Roma 8.
which they will. I've got Roma in my top 10. I don't know if Palmview will still be my top 10. I think I've got Palmview still in my top 10. I mean, it'll be 2 top 10 teams, but
Do I move? I guess McAllen High's out, yeah.
now here's the thing: if Palmview beats Rio Grande City, is Rome and Palmview still a lock, or are we still going Weslaco Harlingen?
If what happened now?
If Palmview would have beat Rio Grande City,
Yeah.
is that still a lock for a game of the week, or are we still talking Weslaco Harlingen? And then Dennis would still be like, oh, PHA Memorial.
No,
and
I think
Rick
if Palmview beats Rio Grande City, I still, because then we would need a measuring stick for Palmview, and that's why I would be intrigued by this game. Now I know
this
that
game
they're
might
not
be
that good.
this game might be a measuring stick.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's done. I've filled my Palmview measuring stick
Well, I
requirement.
mean, again, maybe it's not a measuring stick. Maybe it's just Palmview just poop in the bed, and maybe they have the game of the season against Roma.
I guess what I'm saying is we've found a team that we're about on their level, and now I'm comfortable with that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Am I
I'm less
wrong?
intrigued.
Am I wrong to say if Palmview would have won, you would have taken that away? You would have taken them as being Palmview's 3-0 as opposed to, hey, Palmview just beat Rio Grande City?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, if they won 35-34, I'd still be like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
As opposed to losing.
Yeah, just based on the numbers, I thought that's why I
Right.
picked him because I thought Palmview was going to crush him.
Well, everything
course.
about the box would suggest that Palmview should have won because they put up 100 more yards. They had less.
How many
I
turnovers?
just
Who had more turnovers?
Dominance.
I think it was Rio Grande. I think
If Palmview was the team we thought they were, they should have gone in there and won like 40-something to 20-something.
Right. That's what I'm
And
saying.
they didn't. And again, props to Rio Grande City. If you got Rio Grande City fans still watching, props to you guys.
And
I mean, but
thing
that's-
is-
Hell of a win.
but that's big though for them to come up with blocking 2 extra point attempts, blocking a field goal.
Yeah.
So
So there's again
That's-
another high
that's
scoring
that.
game where just defense matters.
because even if they get one of those,
And also maybe just the coach.
I mean, the fact that, again, like I said, if they won a close game, I would still be concerned. I just think they should have won this game by a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like, well,
oh, what did you have?
because like when
projected?
at any point have you considered that Rio Grande City would be better than Roma? No,
No.
right? So then why would we think that Palmview and Roma is now a great game? They just lost to the team that we know is worse than Roma.
Can you do that though?
I think I can.
Because I think sometimes it's matchups, right?
Right, but they play a similar style. I don't know if Rio Grande City and Roma play a similar style, but I know Palmview and Roma play a similar style.
I would say, well, Rio Grande City, I didn't dismiss their passing game, whereas with Roma, you kind of could.
What do you mean?
With Rio Grande City, I never thought of them
Oh, you think they have?
as. At least Rio Grande City had the
Right.
shot of like a passing game.
Was that a big factor in them winning today?
They.
How was Harlingen offensively? They just run the ball, run the ball, run the ball.
No, they had more. I believe I just have to pull it up again, but they had more passing yards than rushing. They spread the field such that they were able to just throw a lot of screen passes, and it was weird. Their quarterback would make like a million awesome throws in a row, and he would make some super terrible throw, and they'd be like, "What was that?" But for the most part, I thought he was strong. Here I got the numbers here. So they threw for 279 yards and ran for 178. And that quarterback is Jesse Castro, 16 of 33 for 270 and 3 touchdowns, but that was a lot of drops too.
Okay.
So that could have been 20 for 33 for 310 yards and 4
I gotta
touchdowns.
talk to Coach Gomez. That was
You know you're still
He's
live
fine.
on Periscope.
yeah.
He's just I think he this isn't a bad knock on him at all. He just takes himself very seriously and is very professional football coach about his interactions with the media. That's a lot of
Plays things close to the best.
well, yeah, and it's just very much the toughness of Harlingen, and they just go full throttle all the time, kind of stuff.
It's beast mode, John.
But man, I really am interested in that game. That's like
Weslaco Harlingen.
yeah.
Yeah, me too. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be really fun. I'm excited.
I don't see how
I haven't been I think this is the first game. I've covered games. I think this is the first game of the season where I'm excited to cover it. The other ones I've just kind of gone to.
right. I want to. I'm
John,
thinking
you know
about.
you're live.
I'm thinking about my top 10.
Honesty is the best policy, Mario.
And Mario likes to lie to the people and tell them that
Porter's good.
I never said that.
You said they're
okay.
2-0.
Was
That's
that
a
not the?
fact.
Was that not the point?
When you
were
say a
making?
team is
That's a
2-0. Anyways, are we done?
Well, we could be. I'm going to be working on my top 10, so we may as well talk about it while the camera rolls, since it's high school football talk, right? Have you guys
Actually,
figured
yes.
out your top 10s yet?
Memorial, Los Fresnos, Harlingen, Vela, Weslaco.
You want Vela 4?
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave him 3 for now.
I'm doing Vela 4.
Well,
I'm going to vote him number 1 now just to balance him out.
you know what? I'm gonna move him back up to 2.
Thank you, Barbecue King.
Move Los Fresnos.
What'd he say?
down to
Don't fall to peer pressure.
Don't
Los
fall to
Fresnos
peer
down
pressure?
4.
Nah, Vela's going to go 4 for me.
Yo, I need a 9th team and I need a 10th team. Because I have McAllen Memorial, Vela, Harlingen, Los Fresnos, Weslaco High,
San Benito's
Brownsville Vets, Sherryland High, Roma.
San Benito.
San Benito?
Yeah, I mean, they.
Off a loss?
Yeah, but I mean, it's McAllen Memorial, and like they played them. They scored 44 points on them. And it was pretty
What did they do
close.
the first 2 weeks again? I just covered this game. I should
They beat
remember.
They beat Edinburgh High and Weslaco East,
Okay.
and they didn't just beat Weslaco East. Like they beat them by like
Right, and they
2 or
were,
3 touchdowns.
and that was a
San Benito.
San Benito.
Oh man.
Do I? Ed Couch is not in the discussion, right? No, I
No,
said
Ed
last.
Couch
I said last week I would never.
This is the end
consider
of that
that again.
discussion.
Ed Couch isn't in the discussion.
Who last week? Because now, because usually I look at the scoreboard and then all the teams are there. Now I got to go back 2 weeks because we had so many rainouts. I'm gonna forget somebody if I don't look at the week before.
Where's Rome in your top 10, Greg?
7,
Palmview's out of your top 10.
8. Well, they're vying for that last spot right now. It's open. I'm worried about this whole losing to Rio Grande City thing.
You're doing it again, Greg.
Not a good look.
You have any questions on Periscope?
Yeah, one came in.
Is Hannah good? Somebody put
No.
Hannah in the top 10. I
Mission
don't
Vets
think
at
that is.
10? No. No way.
Well, wait a second.
No. No, Mission
There's
Vets.
some way.
Mission Vets is a B-list team. No, they're not a top 10 team.
If Mission Vets had to line up and play Pondview tomorrow,
No.
Palmview? You think they would lose to Palmview?
that's what I'm
That's not even
debating.
there's no debate.
They beat
Mission Vets would beat Pondview.
They
for
beat
sure?
Mission, they lost to Permian, and they beat Juarez Lincoln.
Mario's saying Mission Vets would beat Pondview for sure.
Yes.
No, I don't.
Again,
Again,
we aren't considering Rio Grande City on Mission Vets level, and Rio Grande City just beat Pondview. So transitive property, don't we then consider Mission Vets better than Pondview?
no, we don't. No. Mission Vets is
so
a,
then you think
Mission.
then Rio Grande City is better than Mission Vets?
I don't care who's better than who in that situation because neither are top 10 teams.
Well then, who's number 10?
I don't know. It's neither of those options.
So is it McConaughey?
Mission Vets is a B-list team. They're probably the 4th best team in that district, and we're gonna put them top 10. No.
Well, I got the other 3 already.
That's what happened last year.
No.
With Roma.
No.
I got
Roma
the
was the
other
4th
3
team
already.
and they
in the
finished in top 10.
Huh?
Roma was in the 4th seed in that district and they finished top 10.
Yeah, but
See, this is
Mission Vets now is not as good as Roma was last year, and Mission Vets now is not the. If we had to list the 10 best teams in the Valley, we're taking Mission Vets.
well. I need a 10th
Well,
then.
look how our week 3 top 10 poll was compared to how it finished last year.
It's gonna be Mission Vets or it's gonna be McAllen High.
Oh, Mac High.
You know Mac has a reputation. Mac.
Yeah, but I mean they.
Mac High versus
they
Mission
lost
Vets. Who's going to win
they
that
lost
game?
to good teams.
Mission Vets versus Mac High. Who's going to win that game? 9 times out of 10 if they're healthy.
I think Mac High's got to be the
Okay.
favorite there.
Okay. Mission Vets.
District West.
Mission Vets is like they're like I said last week. Mission Vets is vanilla. They're like vanilla ice cream. When you eat vanilla ice cream, you're not complaining because it's ice cream and you still enjoy it, but you're not bragging like, oh, I just had this really bomb ass bowl of vanilla ice cream.
Okay, so
Any strong 4A teams take the 10th spot?
Not this year.
No, not
That's
this year.
interesting.
Not this year. Port Isabel could be.
I don't think they're as good as they've been.
They're not as good as they've been. Like if it's going to be a 4A team, it's going to be Port Isabel. They're not as strong as they've been. So no.
Well, how's Gruya?
No. Stop. No.
They've been good in the past.
Yeah. No.
No,
We're
they
not.
stink.
No. I put Mission Vets in your top 10 over any of those stupid teams. No.
Dennis was talking up Gruya. I got off.
Mac High didn't.
Why do you let
versus
Dennis
Harlingen.
sell you on this?
Harlingen's good. Harlingen's good. Mac High again. They're not going to be in my top 10.
I
But
guess
not
I
Mission
guess-
Vets. No.
Okay, you can't if you don't have Mac High and you don't have Mission Vets and you don't have Palmview. You don't have.
I would
top
leave.
10.
I would leave Palmview in my top 10. I would.
Oh, okay.
I would. It's one.
Palmview's better than Mission Vets?
I would say so.
I just feel like if we think,
Dude, like, is there
Okay.
Mission 9 times out of 10 in high school sports, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, whatever, the team with the better player usually wins. That's the way high school sports usually works. And I really like Palmview's got the better player. They probably have two of the better players in that matchup.
Has that happened with Trevor Spates?
Huh?
With Trevor Spates?
Yes,
In the
they
playoffs?
win a lot.
Yeah, they
No,
win
in
a
the
lot.
playoffs.
Who cares?
Well, you say 9 times out of 10, and he's 0 for 3.
Yeah, they went 10-2 last year, so 9 times out of 10, or 10 times out of 12.
Palmview. It's one loss. I'll give them it's one loss by 1 point. I give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that's the game where Rio Grande City just had the game of their lives, and who knows? I really think
So you want to give Palmview a mulligan and leave them there?
it's 1 point in the top 10. It's not that big a deal. They're better than Mission Vets.
I guess I have Palmview and
Way better
Mission
than
Vets.
because at least with Palmview, it's like okay, they still have Joel Pena, who is still so far this year. He's been a touchdown machine, and he's gotten plenty of yards, and he's been one of the more outstanding players in the Valley. What the hell does Mission Vets have to hang their hat on? Whoop-de-doo, we beat Juarez Lincoln and we beat Mission, and who cares?
Well, you would argue that that's not their fault. The schedule isn't their fault.
Juarez Lincoln, they did what they're supposed to do. Mission High,
They struggled, 23-2.
and so that's
it's not
why
the blowout people wanted.
Right.
It wasn't
Right.
close like last
But
year.
again, even all last year when you guys talked about Mission Vets, what I understand, it was like,
the same. It's the same kind of.
again, like I like my vanilla analogy there. They're not a bad team, they're not a great team, they're just in the middle.
They stay fringy top 10 for me though.
It's just like okay, they're fringy top 10, but they're not top 10. Mission Vets is
Where's
no
Rome
way-
in your top 10?
above 10. I'll put Roma's going to be in there, but Mission Vets is not 10. No way. No way.
Right now I got Rome at 8. Same.
Like I said, they're vanilla.
Caroline High 10.
Mm-mm.
I feel alright
Nope.
with this.
Like who on that team is like a go-to guy for them? Who on Mission Vets?
Roman De Leon,
Who?
wide receiver.
Okay.
They have some good receivers.
Okay. But like, is their quarterback any good?
Yeah.
How good? What's his stats? What are his stats last week?
Well, for the season, as of
What's Mission
coming
Vets?
into this week, he was. I gotta track him down. That's gonna be. at
Oh,
the
I
top
mean,
of this.
his stats are going to be a little off because they played Odessa Permian. So
He was 46.8% completions, 436 yards and a touchdown.
Okay.
But yeah, they played.
Okay.
And he did all right last year when he was.
Okay,
in
fair enough. But again, like those are good numbers. But
they were
I mean,
top 2 last year in offense and defense.
okay.
Yeah, he was-
Again, not a bad team.
Bad.
There's nothing that stands out. There's nothing that stands out from what I hear about that team, and so give it to Palmview or someone else.
I guess I leave Mac High in there.
There you go. There you go.
What?
You left Mac High in there. Again, it's 1 point in the poll. It doesn't matter.
I still don't think I can put Palmview ahead of Mac High.
Yeah, and
Especially not now.
you can't put Mission Vets above Mac High.
Well, I might have been able to.
Thanks, Rick.
I can't-
Maybe. That might just be a bad matchup.
Again, Mission Vets has put up 2 decent score lines against 2 teams that McAllen High puts up similar score lines against typically.
Mission Vets ain't top 10.
It's just when you actually sit down and do yours and you get to the end and you're thinking about Mission Vets, I'm not even
gonna think about Mission Vets.
You're gonna
I'm not.
think about Mission.
I'm not
Maybe
even
that's
Mission
why I
Vets. My top 5 is pretty much the same as it was, just different order. It's Memorial, it's Los Fresnos, it's Harlingen,
And you
and
have
then it's
Bella
Bella.
number 4.
I got Bella 4.
No one's ranking him that low. You're the only one.
Their defense concerns me.
I'm gonna leave Bella 2 for now.
Their defense concerns me.
That's the lowest rating they'll get by anyone.
Then I'll be that guy. That's fine. And again, like I rated them the 4th best team in the Valley. Like, okay, their defense concerns me, and I don't know.
But it's never been an issue though.
Right, it's an issue because they can score a lot. They can score a lot because they play garbage.
Yeah.
They play teams that aren't that good. But
Let's go high, man. I'm interested.
I'm fingers crossed when realignment happens. If Vela gets put into the 6A,
Stops healing off on people.
yeah, then we'll get a better assessment. Like if they move like I don't know Econ down to 5A or something.
It would be based on enrollment.
Yeah, it's based on enrollment, but I mean, I want to see Vela. I don't want to see Vela play Mission Vets anymore. I want to see. We know that they're better than Mission Vets. I want to see Vela not just in football, but in all sports. I want to see Vela play Wesco, Wesco, Mac High, McAllen Memorial. I want to see Vela play those big teams. Harlingen, Los Fresnos, Brownsville
Man, if
Reds.
Bella ended up in a district like with, I would be interested in a Vela and the McAllen schools.
Same as Sharon. I want to see Sharon in 6A too. Like,
Well, they won't
Well,
have the numbers anymore because of this.
no.
yeah, they're going to stay 5A. But I don't
They
know.
actually should be lower, and they
Fingers
should
crossed,
be,
Vela gets moved up to 6A because
Well, that should have been for this past year.
what did they say?
Yes.
To what? Oh, sure, yeah. Okay.
All right, go us. No, but yeah, I'd be interested to see if they move up.
I don't see how that happens at this spot. If anything, it would have happened before this
Well,
spot.
no. I mean Vela.
Oh.
If Vela gets moved up, yeah, we'll see. 'Cause like I said,
That's like a shoe-in, right? Because they actually have the numbers and they had the petition or whatever.
yeah, like I said, I want to see Vela in 6A. I want to see Vela play top tier teams. Because I mean, in your top 10 right now, how many 5A teams you got? 2?
1,
You got 2.
2, 3.
Who? Oh, Sheridan. Oh, you got Roma. Okay, so we got 3 5A teams. And if you put Roma in 32 6A, they're probably not a playoff team. If you put them in 31 6A, they're probably a playoff team, but they're probably like the 3rd or 4th best team.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, well, it's
Which
according to my top 10, I would have them in the 32 6A playoffs, but that could be wrong.
you said if Roma was 6A, but which 6A then?
32 6A.
Well,
He would take them. He would say.
I'm just saying if we lifted up Roma and put it close to Brownsville and Roma was magically in that district, they'd probably
Just based on the team, he says they would finish behind Harlingen, High-Los, Fresnos, Brownsville, Vets, and San Benito.
San Benito might be borderline.
Could make that argument,
Yeah, you
yeah.
could.
Although, I mean, you could. They're also. I mean, they're in a similar standing in the district they're in now.
Right, but I'm saying if you put Roma like in 31 6A, they're probably the 3rd or 4th best team. 36A, they're
31 6A.
31 6A.
Wouldn't they just be the second best team?
This season, probably.
Yeah.
But again, I still don't know what Westaco East is. I still don't know what PHA North is. I don't know what Edinburgh North is. I don't think they know what they are.
If Roma was in 36A, where do you think it would be?
Huh?
If Roma was in 36A.
They'd probably be the 3rd. Maybe 2nd.
Yeah, at this point, Palm View is 3rd, and Rome was better than that. So
They'd probably be 3rd, maybe 2nd if they could upset Mac High. But
don't sleep on Mac High.
yeah, that's why you leave them in your top 10. You'd be sleeping on if you put Mission Vets. Get out of here, Mission Vets. They're not a top 10 team.
I'm gonna talk open.
You tell him. Like, hey, this goofy white guy at the monitor thinks you're not a top 10 team. If that hurts his feelings, like grow some thicker skin.
What did he get mad about previously? Oh no, was you picked them? Oh no, it was when when we had written that they should have beaten Mission by more last year. He took offense to that, right?
He says he didn't agree.
Right.
Okay.
That's his opinion.
Any chance Roma gets thrown in with the Laredos? That's quite a trip.
That'd be. Yeah, I don't think that could happen.
That's a good distance away for them. Well, it's like an hour and a half.
Let's see.
Is it? Because Roma's the midway point from here to Laredo.
Roma High School, directions, Laredo. What's the farthest east school in the district?
Roma. Oh.
East. Vela?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's just.
Roma to Laredo is an hour and a half, about 100 minutes, closer to an hour 40. Now Roma to
An
Edinburgh,
hour and
Vela.
a half, and now.
It's an hour 37.
91.8 miles.
Okay, now let's do Vela.
Robert Vela High School. An hour 19, but it's 30 less miles.
30 less miles. Yeah.
So if they do it geographically. But hey, we think Vela's going up, so then that wouldn't even be relevant anyway, right?
Yeah.
Who's the next most east? Is it Cherryland? I forget who's over there.
Pioneer, maybe?
I guess they're all on like the same
I
line,
think
right?
Roma stays put. I hope they stay put. I like covering Roma. I like the coaches. I like the kids. I like going up there to the school. I hope they stay.
I don't. Yeah, it's not. I don't think they would ever get put up in the Laredos.
Yeah, that's quite a haul. Because then they're by far and away the most southern school, and then like they've got to go all the way up to Laredo every time they got to play a game.
Yeah, that'd suck.
That would not just for football, but for every other sport. That's just got to drain there. I mean, it's one thing to go up to Laredo for a tournament once or twice a season, but to go up there for every game, nah, man.
Especially because other than that, and I don't know a ton about the Laredo district, but isn't it mostly Laredo teams?
Yeah,
Like they'd be the only team that had to do ridiculous travel.
yeah.
They would just be screwed. Where's Del Rio? I don't know.
Del Rio's even further. Like Del Rio's like going north to El Paso.
Right. So maybe. Isn't Del Rio in the district with Laredo schools?
Is it?
Hold on. Now I got a district. What district is that?
21 6A. Excuse me, 29 6A.
Max Preps stand. Because if that's a trip that they're making, then maybe they don't care. But that's insane. Come internet. Yeah, Del Rio's in there.
Interesting. Well, maybe just Del Rio, but again, that's 6A. Del Rio's only got 1
hours.
3 hours, Laredo.
Could you imagine if you were on like the tennis?
I'm
team?
sure there has to be some kind of like neutral site agreement there. Maybe both teams will travel.
Where's Eagle Pass?
That's weird. Eagle Pass?
Where is Eagle? Because I know that's in the district too.
Is that even farther north?
Let us see.
No, it's closer.
No, it's closer.
It's a lot closer.
Man,
Weird.
that's.
I'm impressed that we're that we're captivating an audience at 2 a.m. doing this.
That's see the fact that that's how you know we got 8 bots watching us, and the one guy who's sending comments, right?
Barbecue King.
And our boy Barbecue King.
Barbecue King!
But I enjoy this kind of stuff anyway. You never like we used to.
We'd be
again,
talking about this in the office anyway.
Yeah, this is how we figure out our top 10 and figure out our games of the week and come up with sometimes even notebook or story ideas or advanced angles or whatever that spawn from it. So.
Greg, your pen fell down.
What if it's 4 p.m. here? Oh, well, thanks for
To the side.
What are you talking about? Oh.
joining us.